ultimately, what the story's about is it's a reminder of our responsibility to each other.
Few celebrity families have lived their entire existence under such relentless public scrutiny as the Jolie Pitts. For over a decade, the world watched Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt build what appeared to be the ultimate Hollywood family. 6 children from different corners of the world. Then, it all collapsed. The separation in 2016, followed by 8 years of bruising legal battles, finally ended with a divorce finalized in December 2024. Now, in 2026, those 6 children are grown, building their own lives, and what they have become is nothing short of remarkable. The name that no longer fits, how the children quietly erased. Brad Pitt, something quiet and deliberate, has been happening across the Jolie-Pitt family tree, one surname at a time. Over the past 2 years, nearly every one of Angelina Jolie's 6 children has either legally removed or publicly distanced themselves from the Pitt name, a pattern so consistent that it has stopped feeling like coincidence and started looking like a collective statement. It began in May 2024, when Shiloh, on the very day she turned 18, filed legal documents to drop the Pitt surname, becoming Shiloh Jolie. The timing said everything. She did not wait a week or a month. She acted on her birthday, the earliest moment the law allowed. Not long after Shiloh's filing, Vivian appeared in the playbill for the Broadway production of The Outsiders, listed simply as Vivian Jolie. And Zahara joined the sorority Alpha Kappa Alpha at Spelman College under the name Zahara Marley Jolie, adding 2 more names to the growing list of siblings distancing themselves from their father. Then came Zahara's most public declaration. At her May 2026 graduation ceremony from Spelman College, the announcer called her to the stage as Zahara Marley Jolie, with the crowd erupting in cheers, confirming what had long been widely understood. Brad Pitt was not in attendance that day, a detail that did not go unnoticed by anyone watching. The most recent and perhaps most symbolically significant name change came from Maddox. When the film Couture premiered in French theaters on February 18, 2026, audiences noticed something subtle but meaningful in the end credits. His name appeared simply as Maddox Jolie, marking a clear shift from his previous credit on the 2024 Netflix film Maria, where he had been listed as Maddox Jolie Pitt. While a change in a credit may seem minor on the surface, in the context of one of Hollywood's most closely watched families, it attracted considerable attention. According to reports from People, the updated surname was not a last-minute decision. The name Maddox Jolie had already appeared in official production materials distributed to journalists during the Toronto International Film Festival in September 2025, several months before the movie's theatrical release. That detail suggests the change was intentional and carefully considered rather than a spontaneous adjustment. For many observers, it represented another chapter in the evolving story of the Jolie-Pitt family, a family whose personal decisions have often unfolded under an extraordinary level of public scrutiny. The broader family picture that emerges is one of children who have grown up inside a painful and very public divorce and chosen, each in their own way and at their own pace, to align their identity with their mother. Sources close to the family have noted that Brad Pitt has had virtually no contact with the adult children, with a source telling People in 2024 that the estrangement across the older siblings ran deep. What makes the pattern even more striking is that none of the children have spoken about it directly in public. There are no explosive interviews, no social media call-outs, just a quiet, steady, legal rebranding that speaks louder than any statement ever could. For Maddox and Pax, the surname question remains publicly unresolved, but the direction of the family current is unmistakable. The Pitt name, once hyphenated proudly across 6 children, is now largely gone from the public record of who these young people are choosing to be. But names are only the beginning of the story. Once you understand what each of these children has been building in their own lives, the full picture becomes even more striking, and that is exactly where this story goes next. Maddox and Pax. If names mark the symbolic break from their father, then careers marked the active construction of something entirely new. The two eldest sons of Angelina Jolie have taken remarkably similar paths, gravitating toward the film industry not as performers but as craftspeople working in the quieter spaces of production, away from red carpets and the celebrity machine their parents inhabited. Maddox was born on August 5, 2001, in Battambang, Cambodia, and was adopted by Angelina in early 2002 while she was filming Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. He is 24 years old in 2026. His connection to filmmaking began early. He worked as a trainee on By the Sea in 2015, appeared as an uncredited extra in World War Z in 2013, and served as executive producer on his mother's 2017 directorial project, First They Killed My Father. He returned to her orbit as a production assistant on the 2024 biopic Maria, before stepping up to serve as third assistant director on Couture. Each credit marks a progression, a young man learning the craft from the ground up while staying closely connected to his mother's artistic world. Couture premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival in September 2025 and was released in French cinemas on February 18, 2026. The film stars Jolie as an American filmmaker diagnosed with breast cancer while working in France during Paris Fashion Week, with Maddox contributing in the director department. The trajectory from executive producer at 16 to third assistant director at 24 might appear lateral to outsiders, but within the industry, it reflects someone genuinely learning the machine, rather than coasting on a famous name. Pax, born November 29, 2003 in Vietnam, was adopted by Angelina in 2007. He served as the set photographer for First They Killed My Father and went on to work as a production assistant on Maria in 2024. Photography and visual storytelling appear to be his natural territory. In January 2026, Pax made a rare solo public appearance at the Sundance Film Festival in Park City, Utah, photographed alongside directors Fernando Ferro and Garrett Patton at a private screening of the short thriller Self-Custody, with sources indicating he had been in early discussions about future producing projects with the filmmakers. Unlike Maddox, who briefly enrolled at Yonsei University before ultimately shifting his attention toward filmmaking and creative projects, Pax appears to have taken a very different route. Rather than pursuing a traditional college education, he chose to focus directly on building a career within the entertainment industry. In 2025, he reportedly relocated from California to New York, settling into one of Angelina Jolie's Manhattan apartments as he worked to establish himself professionally and carve out an identity separate from his famous family name. That transition came during a particularly challenging period in his life. In July 2024, Pax was involved in a serious e-bike accident that resulted in a head injury severe enough to require treatment in an intensive care unit. The incident sparked widespread concern among fans and media outlets, especially given the seriousness of the injuries reported at the time. Just months later, in January 2025, he experienced another crash, once again drawing public attention to his safety and well-being. Yet, through both setbacks, Pax remained remarkably private. He has rarely spoken publicly about the accidents or their aftermath, choosing instead to focus on his creative pursuits. In many ways, that approach reflects his personality. Rather than allowing personal hardships to become the defining story of his life, he has consistently preferred to let his work, growth, and ambitions speak for themselves. What unites both brothers is a deliberate choice to contribute to cinema on their own terms, without chasing the spotlight their parents occupied. Angelina addressed the family's relationship with celebrity during the 2025 Santa Barbara International Film Festival, saying simply that her children are not interested in being on screen and that they truly do not like the celebrity side of the industry. For Maddox and Pax, those words describe a reality they have both actively constructed. But while the brothers are carving out their futures behind the lens, their sisters have been doing something altogether different, and the chapters they are writing might be the most unexpected of all: Zahara and Shiloh. The contrast between Zahara and Shiloh tells you almost everything about how differently 6 children raised in the same household can turn out, and why that difference is precisely the point. One found her identity inside an institution built for community and scholarship. The other found hers on a dance floor, anonymous and judged purely on movement. Zahara Jolie was born on January 8, 2005, in Hawassa, Ethiopia, and was adopted by Angelina 7 months later during a trip with her then-toddler son Maddox. She enrolled at Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia in 2022, choosing one of the nation's most celebrated historically black colleges for women. On Sunday, May 17, 2026, she graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology with a minor in Educational Studies, crossing the stage to thunderous applause with Angelina watching proudly from the crowd. Brad Pitt was absent from the ceremony. The graduation capped a college experience that appeared genuinely meaningful, rather than performative. Unlike many celebrity children, whose academic lives become little more than headline material, Zahara seemed determined to fully embrace every aspect of university life and build an identity that stood on its own merits. One of the most significant milestones came in November 2023 when she was initiated into the MUPI chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Incorporated, one of the oldest, most respected, and historically significant black sororities in the United States. During the ceremony, she introduced herself as Zahara Marley Jolie, a detail that immediately attracted public attention and sparked widespread discussion about her evolving sense of identity and independence. Her college years also appeared to strengthen the bond she shared with her mother. During a Pearls of Purpose Foundation brunch in April 2026, Zahara delivered an emotional tribute to Angelina that resonated far beyond the event itself. Standing before the audience, she described Angelina as the most selfless, loving, and understanding woman she had ever known, and thanked her for helping shape her into the confident young woman she had become. The heartfelt moment quickly spread across social media, offering a rare glimpse into their relationship. At a time when headlines were often dominated by stories of division and estrangement within the Jolie-Pitt family, Zahara's words served as a powerful reminder that another story was unfolding as well, one defined by gratitude, admiration, and an unmistakably strong mother and daughter bond. Zahara graduated with a degree in psychology and a minor in educational studies, opening pathways toward careers in advocacy, counseling, or nonprofit work. Throughout her time at Spelman, she frequently participated in community-focused initiatives tied to leadership and social impact. What becomes clear is that Zahara has spent her college years building something with intention, not just a credential, but a sense of self and community that exists entirely outside the shadow of her famous parents. Shiloh's story runs on a completely different track. In 2024, a rehearsal clip of her dancing went viral globally, and by 2025 she made her formal debut as a choreographer under the professional name Shy Jolie, creating the choreography for a dance number performed at a dinner celebrating the launch of French designer Isabelle Marant's capsule collection with Net-a-Porter. She actively concealed her identity in a professional context, choosing to be evaluated on her work rather than her bloodline. In early 2026, Shiloh appeared in the music video teaser for K-pop artist Dayoung's single What's a Girl to Do, selected following an open audition process during which the production team had no knowledge of who she was, with Starship Entertainment later confirming the team only discovered her identity after casting had already concluded. That detail matters enormously. She auditioned anonymously, was chosen on merit, and only later was her identity revealed. Shiloh has trained extensively at elite dance studios in Los Angeles alongside renowned choreographers, with her hip-hop and contemporary styles drawing genuine admiration from professionals in the field who have praised her natural rhythm and physical intensity. At 19 years old, she is building a career in the arts with a seriousness that the casual observer might not expect from someone raised in the most surveilled household in Hollywood. Both Zahara and Shiloh have navigated the challenge of growing up famous without becoming famous in the way that fame usually works. And, as extraordinary as their stories are, they are not even the most surprising chapters in this family. That distinction belongs to the youngest, too, and what they have been up to would genuinely catch most people off guard. Knox and Vivian. The twins were the last to arrive, and in many ways, they are the last to step into public view. But in 2026, with their 18th birthday approaching in July, both Knox and Vivian have started revealing who they actually are. And the picture that emerges is as far from conventional celebrity offspring as anyone could have predicted. Vivian made her earliest move into public creative life through theater. When Angelina revealed she was producing the Broadway adaptation of The Outsiders in August 2023, she noted that it was Vivian who had first brought her to see the production at the La Jolla Playhouse, and that Vivian would be joining as a volunteer assistant. The musical premiered on Broadway on April 11, 2024, and went on to win the Tony Award for Best Musical that June, with Vivian and Jolie both attending the ceremony together. Vivian, then 15 years old, had helped produce a Tony-winning Broadway show. That sentence deserves a moment of genuine pause. Angelina described Vivian as someone who is not focused on being the center of attention, but on being a support to other creatives, drawing a direct comparison between her daughter and her own late mother, Marceline Bertrand. That characterization is consistent with everything Vivian has done publicly since. She is not building a profile. She is learning, contributing, and staying close to the creative process without needing to own the spotlight. Knox's trajectory has been entirely different and considerably more dramatic. He has committed himself to Muay Thai with a seriousness that reads more like a vocation than a hobby. In July 2025, the then 16-year-old competed in and won the IKF Point Muay Thai technical competition in Los Angeles, with Angelina and Vivian both watching ringside. The win coincided with his 17th birthday weekend. Then, on June 5, 2026, Knox graduated from high school in Los Angeles, with Angelina in the crowd photographing the ceremony. During his graduation speech, he announced to his assembled classmates and their families that he would be competing in a Muay Thai fight at Total Sonic Knockout 5 at 12:45 that same night, and then told the crowd he was going to knock his opponent out. The clip spread widely on social media within hours. Photos from the late-night fight showed Knox in the ring wearing black shorts and matching gloves, competing at a combination rave fight event in downtown Los Angeles that ran until 2 in the morning. He won. Angelina was photographed at both events, the graduation ceremony in the afternoon and ringside later that night. The image of an Oscar-winning actress watching her teenage son graduate, then watching him compete in combat sports at midnight, captures something essential about where this family has landed. It is not the life anyone scripted for these children. It is something more interesting and more real. With Knox and Vivian turning 18 in July 2026, Angelina has reportedly been preparing for a significant life change of her own. Sources close to her have told Us Weekly that she plans to relocate abroad once the twins reach adulthood, splitting her time between New York, Europe, and Cambodia. She has put her historic Cecil B. DeMille estate in Los Angeles on the market. The move would mark the end of a chapter she herself described in a 2024 interview, when she told The Hollywood Reporter that she had stayed in the United States because the divorce required it and intended to leave once the twins turned 18. The twins entering adulthood closes the last formal obligation of the custody arrangement. What happens next, for both the children and their mother, is genuinely unwritten. But taken together, all 6 stories point toward the same conclusion: that whatever was broken inside that family did not break these children. So, there it is. 6 children raised inside one of the most turbulent celebrity marriages in modern history, and every single one of them has come out the other side with something real to show for it. A college graduate who honored her mother in front of her sorority. A dancer who auditioned anonymously and let her talent speak without her name. An eldest son quietly building his film career credit by credit. A young photographer stepping into the independent film world. A theater prodigy who helped produce a Tony-winning musical at 15. And a combat athlete who graduated high school and stepped into a ring on the same night. What does it tell you about a mother when her 6 children, across every possible domain of life, are all moving forward with this much purpose? With this, we have come to the end of this video. If you have been watching this family from the outside, let us know in the comments which of these 6 stories surprised you the most. And if you have not subscribed yet, now is a good time, because stories like this one do not end here. There is always more to uncover, and we will be here when it happens. Thanks for watching. To enjoy more thrilling stories, click now on the following video that pops up on your screen.